Oh, very good. Did you say $1 million listing?
2.2 million.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so cool.
I paid for the show for like 3 years or something.
Oh my God.
But it closes, of course. But
You
I'm
know
telling
how
you,
happy
I
that
had
makes.
house envy though. I was like, wow, this is how you do it right. So I think that one's going to sell for more than that. So.
But you know what is cool? I don't know much, but so if that one sells for that, then there's going to probably be other people who say, "Well, she did a great job for that on a home worth that much." And oh God, that makes me so happy for you, Barb.
Yeah. But it won't go on the market until next spring. So what we're doing now is just getting the summer pictures. I mean, he spent $100,000 just on landscaping, if you could imagine.
Wow. Where's the house at?
High Forest Ranch, you know where that is?
No, but it must
You
be kind
go,
of swanky, I guess.
if you go up Highway 83, there's a gated community up there, kind of at the corner of Highway 83 and Hodgen.
Oh, okay. I've got a couple of friends who live up in Black Forest. If people just stay down here, they have no idea how many homes there are in the forest or adjacent to it, or you get a little bit north of it and stuff. I mean, I remember the first time I drove up there, I'm like, I had no idea. I thought, they were just some old leftover farm cabins or something, but nope, 2.2 million. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And that was a realistic number. I was proud of them.
Right, because yeah, I could just picture, man, when I sell my home, it won't be 2.2 million. Just say that. All right. I got a clock script. It looks like I'm good to go, Barb. How about you?
I'm ready.
All right. I will, whoops. I'll count us down in three, two, one. Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, this is the weekly radio show that informs and it educates you on how to buy or sell real estate, and it does it with Colorado's real estate authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb's an author, and Barb Schlinker is also a pilot. And Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday. And if you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or just search Barb on all of the popular podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, all of the other ones as well. Every week, Your Real Estate Voice covers great information about the housing market and one of the largest assets that anyone has, their home. Barb, what are we talking about today?
Well, Richard, the first topic is on people's mind, which is, will house prices go down in Colorado this fall and winter? And the actual empirical data does indicate that the prices are correcting a little bit. Almost 60% of the people that have their house on the market right now are having to lower their price. So it's a really interesting thing that's going on, just because at the same time the rates are coming down too. I just don't think it's catching up enough because we have a lot more available homes on the market than we did last year. So we're going to deep dive into that. And then we're going to talk about how to choose the best real estate agent when selling your house. We're going to give you some tips on what questions to ask, and some things that might help you make a good decision, because who handles the sale does make a difference, especially in this market. Things have changed so much in the past week or so, and we're getting a lot of crazy things go on, especially with the commission thing that just changed. Basically, they're not offering a commission through the MLS. And Richard, what agents are doing is they're calling and asking how much is the commission, and they're making a decision whether or not they're going to take their buyer to that home based on the answer. Did you know that?
At all, but that's why this show is so valuable. People get the latest information from you.
Thank you. And then we're going to cover what is the best day to reduce the price of a house if you're on the market and it's not selling. I have the answers, and we have some good strategy on how to avoid being in the situation where you're having to lower your price. The best case scenario for most sellers is having multiple offers and picking the best one. And if you price it right, you will get that. And very last thing I want to cover, we're going to talk about buyers a little bit. And this is a question that's been going on since the change of taking commission out of the MLS. Buyers are asking, hey, do I need to pay an agent when purchasing a house in Colorado? A lot of them are saying, no, 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 I don't want to do it. And it's making it very interesting what's happening in the market right now. And as always, we're going to cover our hot new listings. Richard?
The landscape just keeps changing week by week, season by season, but you're always on top of it. That's why this program is my favorite. Barb, as we wade into the fall, what's in store for the future of the area real estate market?
Well, the big thing that we're seeing is almost 60% of the home sellers that are on the market have reduced their price week after week after week. That's what's going on right now. I knew the market, excuse me, I got a little tickle. I knew the market was going to have to give at some point because the MLS data says, oh, don't worry, the prices are going up. And I'm like, something's not right. There's now, as of this week, there's 35% more available homes on the market, as compared to a year ago, with fewer sales going on as compared to a year ago, 10% fewer sales. So really, the prices are going up? That doesn't make sense. So I think it might just be kind of a snapshot in time of the average prices that's deceiving us. I don't think it's real data. You really need the real data around you, around your home, around your competition to make a really good decision, both on pricing and on whether or not to make a move on price and how much you should move it. When I looked at the data just yesterday, there were over 3,400 available homes on the market. That's up from the stats that came out right at the 1st of August. That's a 12%, that's a 12% increase just in a few weeks. And the prices have dropped this week. 58% of home sellers have dropped their price. 10% of the sellers got contracts. So imagine that you're only 1 out of 10 sellers is getting a contract. That's a problem. Obviously, over time, you're going to have to make a change to attract a buyer. And so really long-term average price reductions in a month are about 38%. So not everybody is lowering their price. They're sticking to their guns, and that's okay. The good news is that interest rates are coming down. As of this morning, they're at 6.44% for a 30-year conventional, and the VA loan's about 5.92. And so what we're seeing a lot in the market is when buyers make offers, if they want to pay even a lower percent, they're asking the seller to pay their loan closing costs as much as $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. So they can shove that money to the lender, buy their interest rate down so they have either a fixed permanent rate or a fixed rate for the first couple of years so they can afford the house. And so the result is basically that overall we're seeing a drop by 5% in mortgage applications, and it's at the lowest level it ever has been since February, which is kind of surprising because back in February, the rates were at 7.5%, and now they're at 6.4. It's crazy. The inventory, I was talking about that. If you just look at this chart, this is a snapshot of the available homes at the beginning of the month for every month going back a year. And you can see a big surge in the number of available homes. We're up to 3,400 as compared to 2,200 a year ago at the same time. And the forecast is this inventory is going to keep coming up, right? It's possible. So that is why it's absolutely critical that home sellers need to get all 4 P's right, meaning preparation, prepare your home for sale, picking the right agent. That is absolutely critical. I just talked to a seller this morning that called and she basically told me that they had an agreement that they were basically going to slowly walk the price down until they got a buyer. And it's these little weird off number incremental changes in price. And that doesn't move the bar. I'm telling you, that's not the way to do it, in my view. We know how to do it. According to the National Association of Realtors, if you price too high and slowly walk the price down, you're actually going to net less money. You will make more money being priced out of the gate very realistically versus optimistically every single time. And then the next and the final P is promotion. You have to make sure your home is properly promoted. That same house I looked at this morning, she was listed with another agent, so I really couldn't interfere with that contract, but I could give her tips on what I was seeing. And it was obvious to me she was priced just above a $50,000 increment, which is an easy fix. The photos were awful. The first photo was a covered thing in the backyard, no picture of the front, or the picture in the front was way down the list, and it looked awful. The lighting was bad. It looked like this old dingy house. And it's like, wow, it'd be so easy to fix this. In the kitchen, my pet peeve, it had a dish towel hanging off the stove. I can't stand that. It looks terrible in a photo. And of course, bright red little rugs in front of the stove, in front of the sink, which draws your eye to the rug and you're not looking at the kitchen. And of course, the kitchen counters are full of stuff. These are easy things to fix. Takes a few minutes and it looks so much better. So I gave her those tips, and hopefully, she'll have success going forward. So we have all kinds of free reports on our website that you can actually go online and request them. The one report we're featuring today is the 7 top tips to get your house ready to sell for top dollar. So if you'd like to get that report, go to barbhasthebuyers.com, click on the green button, fill in the form, and we'll send that right out to you. According to the statistics, the median price of homes available for sale has gone up from January to August. But I don't know if that's just a snapshot in time. It doesn't make sense. People are looking back at the historic sales and pricing their home, but then more than half of the home sellers have to ultimately subsequently lower their price. So it's not working. It's not working to overprice your home. And the best time to price your home right is the moment you go on the market. I think if rates come down some more, it's going to help. It's going to help buyer activity. I think the buyers are just hanging out waiting for the best deal. So if you are thinking of making a move, my name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. Right now, we're talking about whether or not the prices are going to go down into the fall and winter. And when we come back, really briefly, we're going to cover what some home sellers should do to prepare their homes for sale. But if you are thinking of moving, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Barb, we're discussing the current real estate market and how people can be prepared if they want to buy or sell. Now, you're the host of the program, so what should home sellers expect and do in a market situation just like this one?
Well, I think there's a lot of buyers sitting on the sideline waiting for that moment of affordability or the best deal on the market. And you know what? In any market, no matter what's going on as of today, buyers always jump on the best deal. And so right now, especially when the Fed is promising lower interest rates, buyers are going, well, I'll just wait till the rates come down before I actually make an offer. But they're also on the lookout for the best homes. That's absolutely for sure. Last spring, the rates were 7.5. Right now, they're down at 6.44, and the inventory has exploded, but the prices haven't come down enough to make the buyers do backflips and jump on it. So what we're seeing is a lower amount of sales. That's why it's so important that you absolutely pick the right team that helps you prepare your home, helps you price your home properly, and absolutely make sure that your home is presented to the market in a proper way. So, because you have to remember, the very first showing is online. If we don't win their hearts and minds online, they are moving on and they're not coming back to their house. So you have to make sure that that is correct. And that's one of the things that we specialize in. So give us a call. Sorry. Give us a call if you are thinking of making a move at 719-301-3900. We have almost 28,000 buyers in waiting just on our little website. And we have 67 high net worth cash buyers that can make a cash offer on your home. And you don't even have to worry about preparing your home for sale. So we have all these options for home sellers to make it easy and realistic so that they can have certainty that their home is going to sell. Just give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb's the host of the program, and if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about how to choose the very best real estate agent when you're selling your house. Stay tuned for that. I like that.
Thank you.
I mean, I will say, it just every week there's always something new. I like that.
It's the same thing over and over again. It's just said a different way with more
Well,
stories.
you make it good. You make it very good that way. Then, ouch, my neck hurts.
Oh, no. Okay, like this one we've covered before.
Oh, yeah, but I think since you are the winner on this one, I think it's important to do it every now and then.
Yeah.
And I do like telling people that. I'm like, it is so effective to remind people that it is the biggest investment of their life. And I think when people start looking at it that way, not just as their home, it kind of changes how what your perception is, I think. So I like doing that. And then just telling them, hey, look, you know what? You have to get the best person. That means you have to look around, and I guarantee you, look around, you're going to find out that Barb Schlinker is exactly what you want.
Thank you.
All right, here. Let me get a new clock here. Okay, I'm ready. David, you good? He's good. Barb, you good?
I'm good.
Count us down in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program, and this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner proprietor of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, your home. We're back with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the Real Estate Voice. Barb, I've recommended you and your team for years. So what are some of the top agent hiring mistakes that some would-be sellers should absolutely avoid?
Well, Richard, it's really interesting how people decide on who's going to handle the sale. A lot of people will go off a referral, and you have referred me a lot of business, and I'm very grateful for it. Some people just work with whoever they worked with before. I would say that comprises about half of the agents out there. And the truth is, not all real estate agents are the same. What do I mean by that? There is no job description for real estate agents. There is no, this is your job and this is my job. It doesn't exist. And so everybody has a different approach to how we handle people's largest assets. And really picking the wrong agent can cost a home seller thousands. What I mean by that, right now, we have a market that's correcting slightly. It's not radical. It's not the end of the world. I think if the rates come down a little bit more, it might bring the buyers out of the woodwork again. But at the end of the day, if you're on the market or planning to go on the market right now, the best solution is to make sure you get this right. Because if you don't, and you make all those mistakes, time costs you money. Houses sitting on the market that are overpriced cost you money over time. And according to the National Association of Realtors, most people only talk to one real estate agent, and that's fine if you're satisfied with who you met with. And usually it's the person that sold them the home. But the question is that the right person for you? Do they have the right marketing strategy? Do they understand the market? Do they understand pricing? And you know, what most agents unfortunately do is they will, most of them have gotten better about taking professional photos of homes. I don't see too many iPhone pictures anymore, although they're still out there. And so they post it and they just hope another agent has a buyer. That's not really selling. And the actual statistics are kind of awful. In Pikes Peak region alone, there's 5,400 real estate agents. There's one on every corner. And unfortunately, over 81% of them sell three or less homes a year. And so how do they know what's working or not? How do they know whether or not a home is priced right or how to approach pricing a home if they're not really studying the market? Now, they could be studying the market and just not selling very much, and that's okay. But if you don't ask the right questions when you interview agents, it can really hurt you and cost you a lot of money. Little things like bad marketing, incorrect pricing. I had one that I took over from an agent that the first words in her description, Richard, were there's a structural report available. Now, what would that conjure up in your mind as you were reading that?
I guess I would be wondering, is there a problem here? Because is it normal to have a report like that?
No, it's not normal. It's not normal. It just sort of markets that they have structural problems. I'm like, she's not thinking, you know. So, and it was an older house. Yeah, okay, it had a few little cracks, but it wasn't falling down. But she highlighted that problem. And so I think a lot of people don't really study marketing and how to get the most attraction. The whole idea behind marketing and what you're putting online is to attract the buyers. Since the first showing is online, you got to get them past that door, which is, do I want to come see this house? Right. And so that's number one. And then the house will speak for itself. And so basically, we've got a report that we're offering home sellers. They can go to my website, barbhasthebuyers.com, and look for the report about 10 questions you should ask an agent. And here are some of the questions. You know, what is your successful percentage of selling homes? What's the average amount of time that your houses are sitting on the market before they sell? Now, some of that is not in the agent's control. There are some home sellers that stick to their price and they will wait and wait and wait until they get it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Another really good question is, can you cancel your agreement with that seller if it's not satisfied, or do you have to wait for the time to expire? You need to make sure you have clear answers on those questions. And asking the right questions will help you make those decisions and make sure that you're picking the right person. And you got to be really, really careful with going with an agent that promises you the highest price. I was recently in a home, and before I went there, the seller said, "Oh, she talked to another agent, and he said my house is worth this much." And I, there's no way. I'm sorry, but even if it was perfect, there was no way that that home was worth that much, right? So there are some agents out there that will promise you the moon just to get you to sign on the dotted line. And then they let other agents or the lack of showings um, tell the story of, oh no, it's priced too high. No, you know, it's not going to work. And so they make the other agents the bad guy, right? And there is also on the seller side that kind of school of thought that, well, why can't I just price high? I can always lower the price. And I get that. But the problem is because all the homes are online right now, because they can see what has sold all around you. Zillow has a very graphic map that they put up around homes that they will show you that. You can tell right away if it's price. Buyers can tell right away if it's overpriced, especially if they're finding things that are better for them in that price range. So you have to be very careful. It's okay to test the market just for a short period of time, but you have to be very aggressive in your corrections to get a buyer. Because if you do it slowly, studies show that you will actually net less money. Um, and And it's sad to say, but there's a huge turnover in the real estate industry because I think the industry is kind of bad at teaching agents things that the public thinks that they should know. Things like marketing, negotiating, handling objections, providing great customer service, and then getting the deal to the finish line. They just don't teach that. It's not in the job description. It's certainly not in the real estate schools. The only thing the real estate schools do is teach you how to pass the test, and then maybe they'll bring in somebody that tells you to go knock on doors to get business, which I would never do that. I will admit, early in my career, my old broker told me to pick up the phone book and cold call people. Could you imagine, Richard, doing
I've
that?
heard that in a lot of different businesses, including mine. It just never seems like it works. And we're trying to get experience and do the very best. I mean, do you talk to several agents when people should be doing this to compare, or just one at a time?
Well, I don't, yeah, I don't know. Um, I don't know what other agents do because I don't get to look over their shoulder when they're in front of a seller. But just feedback from the sellers that I'm hearing, most of them just show up with comps and go, okay, your house is worth this much. I need to sign here to get started. It's very simple. It's not sophisticated. And they're not able to deliver in a graphical way absolute value, right? To get the seller to sign on the bottom line. Now, the same thing is happening with buyers. Buyers are running towards listing agents instead of hiring their own agents to show homes because they're concerned after this NAR change that they're going to have to come out of pocket to pay their agent. And so then they're asking, so what do you do for me? And how much does that cost? And it's making them think twice. And so it happens on both sides, buyer and seller. And if the agents, our team does, but if the agent doesn't have a Batman toolbox of things to show them how they deliver absolute value to the customer won't sign on for it. And as the market shifts right now, we've got new inventory up by over 34%. Pending sales are down by 11% as compared to a year ago. Something's going to give, right? Even though it says the average price is up, I don't really buy that. I think it's just a snapshot in time, only because I can tell that more than almost 60% of home sellers every month are lowering their price. So you have to get everything right when you go on the market, and you have to hire the team that knows how to get everything right. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty Colorado. Barb has the buyer's team, and we're talking about why you should be very careful about interviewing agents, why a lot of agents don't get past the 5th year. And next up, we're going to be talking about some hiring mistakes and some great questions that you can ask agents while you're interviewing them to handle one of your largest assets. And if you'd like to download it, we have a great free report up on my website about this called barbhasthebuyers.com. It's the 10 questions you should ask before you hire a real estate agent. Go to barbhasthebuyers.com, click on the green button free report to find it, or give us a call, 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, host of the program and Your Real Estate Voice. She's with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, the owner, the broker, and you can reach her at 719-301-3900. And we're talking about how a home seller can go about choosing the best real estate agent for them. Barb, what are some top agent hiring mistakes that home sellers often make?
Well, here's the thing. We're in a situation where the market clearly is changing. I've given you empirical data on why higher inventory, fewer sales, more people lowering their price. Um, and I don't know that every agent studies that, right? So picking the wrong agent, they might just look at historic sales and go, oh, well, that one sold for this much. Yours should sell for this much. Yeah, price it here. And then when it fails, do they know what to do in the face of a market change or not? That's a really good question. And this free report will give you a full list of some questions that you should ask. But I'm just going to give you a few right now that might be worth jotting down. One of them is, why should I list with you over other choices? That's a hard question. The second one is, do you have buyers that would be interested in my home? And then another really good question is, what happens if I'm not happy with the job that you're doing? Can I cancel? Will that cost me any money? Those three questions are pretty good questions to ask an agent. And if they don't have a good answer for you, keep looking, think about it, take your time. There's no rush, you know. Make the timing work for you and make sure you plan it well. My name is Barb Schlinker. Give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com to find out more. We'd love to be one of those agents that you interview. And you can click on pretty much anything on our website or call us, and we'd love to help you. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, host of the program, owner, broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can always reach her at 719-301-3900. And Barb Schlinker is the only agent I recommend when you're thinking of making a move. You are listening. Wait, I always do that. I'm going to have to go back and do that because I meant to. There's a duplicate paragraph there. Let's just do the thing from again. 3, 2, 1. You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can reach her at 719-301-3900. And Barb is the only agent I would ever recommend if you're thinking of making a move. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be covering what is the best day of the week to reduce the price of your house right here in Colorado. You want to hear that. I'm sorry for that mistake.
You're fine.
All right. I'm going to step to the men's room real quickly if I could.
All right, I'm gonna step out. I don't have my on-air light.
Up here. I don't know.
Sellers have been. Oh, somebody came in. Okay. Sorry about that. Multitasking.
I'm trying to, I had a problem here. Just 1 second.
No rush.
I'm trying to get my clock here, but I think I got it here. All right. There we go. I used to have a big clock and then something screwed up with the monitor. So I have to use the clock on my phone, except if I don't touch it, I don't know, every 4 minutes, 5 minutes or something, it just, quits and I have to start it over again. Okay.
I
Number,
use my iPad, the clock stopwatch on the iPad. It's really big numbers.
you know what? I should do that. I used to do that, in fact, and I maxed out the storage on my iPad, so I don't use it for anything. It would at least be good for me to use it for that. So next
Yeah.
week, what I'm going to do. Okay. All right. Quick sip of energy. All right. That stuff is so sweet. I'm sorry, Barb.
Sugar in it.
How can it be that? It's like gooey sweet without sugar. I don't even want to know.
You probably don't.
I don't. Here we go, Barb. I'll count us down. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the host of the program and the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, now that the market is showing signs of cooling off a little bit, if a seller decides it's time to reduce their price, what is the best day of the week to lower the price of a home for sale here in Colorado? Is there actually one day that's better than the others?
Well, there is, Richard, but let me give you a little bit of background first. So, first of all, the facts are that the inventory, meaning the number of available homes, is up by 35% right now in the Pikes Peak region, over 3,400 homes, and only under 40% are getting contracts every month, and 58% every month are reducing their price to try to get a contract. So that means not every home is selling. And I always find it interesting that most home sellers kind of think that if they put their house on the market, it's going to sell. But that's not always true. If they ask too much money, if it's not marketed right, there's all these factors that come into play. So it is that market now that you cannot be ungrateful, I guess is the best way to say it. If you get a buyer on the hook, work with them. I know not everybody agrees on price and some of those terms, but if you can, don't let them get away is my advice. Okay, now I'm going to talk about what not to do regarding this and what to do as far as making price reductions. Now, a lot of people take a look at Zillow to figure out what their home is worth. Zillow has an automated value model. So do some other tools like Realtor.com. There's a whole bunch of them out there. I think some of the other websites have automated value websites. But if you think about what Zillow does, they are in the business of getting buyers and sellers to click on their website and give up their contact information so they can sell those leads to real estate agents. That is what they do. They happen to do it very well. They rank on page 1 of Google pretty much across the country. And so they have become kind of the go-to site for consumers regarding their quote alleged home value and buyers looking for homes. So they kind of won the internet game. They just kind of stomped on the real estate industry and figured it out really quick. And then they took advantage of it by saying, hey, we can sell these leads to agents and they'll pay for them. So many times the agents that are responding to buyers' leads don't know anything about the house that they're asking about. Plus, how they come up with what a home is worth is really just based on averaging the home values around the home. They don't really know anything special about the home. Like I was in a home last week that I had house envy. It was so pretty. Everything about it was spectacular. Um, and that's not always the case, so you have to make sure there's no way that an automated valuation tool would know that. But the buyers will see that when they see the marketing, when they compare it to other properties, that kind of thing. So really, Zillow doesn't know your home. They don't have any idea what your home is worth. And what we're seeing right now, just a week ago, whatever it was, 10 days ago, they changed the rules where a commission offered to a buyer's agent is not allowed to be advertised online anywhere. We can't even, I've seen photos. Richard's kind of funny. This one agent in another state took a drone shot of his house and mowed his grass with the number 3%
That, that's
So
one release, right?
yeah, some people are putting 3% or whatever on their keychain when they open the door, but you got to get them in the door first. And here's the problem is agents are trying to find ways not to show your home. Did you know that, Richard? That's what they're doing right now.
Oh my gosh.
They are calling and going, well, how much commission is offered? And then they don't show it. I just had one last weekend. By the way, we had 44 people at the 1 hour open house. But the day before, this agent had a buyer that wanted to see it. So I got permission to show it prior to the open house. And his question was, he goes, well, my agreement is I make so much, I make 3%, and the buyer's not going to come out of pocket to pay that commission. So if you don't offer 3%, then, we're just going to go look at other homes. So this is while he's out showing, the buyer's in the car behind him, pointing to that house, like, get me in that one. I want to see that one. Because he saw the pictures. It's a beautiful remodeled home with gorgeous views. But I don't know what the agent said to the buyer. My guess is he said it's not available. That's what I think happened. However, these agents are doing that. They're literally steering their buyers away if the commission amount is not enough for what they think they're worth, right? And to me, I think it's despicable that they're doing that. The moment the rule was changed, our phones started blowing up with agents asking how much commission they're going to get paid if they show the house, right? They don't even know if their buyer wants the house yet. It's insanity. Now, the other rule that changed is they have to have an agreement with the buyer on how much they're going to get paid before they show. So yeah, they have to have that agreement. And what I'm hearing from buyers is they're not coming out of pocket to pay the buyer's agent. So guess what they have to learn to do, Richard? A skill that you would think real estate agents know, which is to negotiate, but they don't know how to do it. They're just pre-screening. If you don't offer this much, I'm not showing it. It's despicable. And so I
They
we
don't teach you that in real estate school. I mean, they don't do that in law school, but they don't do it in real estate classes either. You have to learn it yourself through experience, of which you have a couple of decades.
And there are multiple ways to negotiate your fee. The state actually put it in the contract. I want to get paid this much, and this is how it's going to happen, right? Okay, well, that's fine. But at the end of the day, um, the seller gets to counter that. They get to decide whether or not they're going to pay that much based on the value that the agent brings and based on the merits of the offer. That's how it should be. It makes it completely negotiable. And I don't know. I just find that these agents are very entrenched, almost like it's an entitlement that if I show a home and you buy it, I'm entitled to 3% because I opened the door and I wrote a 10-minute contract. And it's it's going to be really interesting what goes on in the next couple of months. I'm having a lot of fun with it to see how it's going to change, but I'm glad that we have an opportunity to discuss a word that they should already know how to do, which is negotiate and also share massive value with your customer, right? That's it. That's all that's required. Now, if you get back to Zillow, Zillow doesn't know anything about your house. They don't know its value. They don't know its improvements. They don't know if it has views. They don't know if it has updates, right? They're just selling leads. So they are really not the gold standard for what a home is valued. Occasionally they get it right, but I wouldn't say they always get it right. And what I'm seeing is the buyers are essentially searching for the best available home in their price bracket. But if they've already seen your home on the internet and they passed it by, you failed at the first showing. That's what happened. Okay. And it was one of two things: price or condition or marketing, or all three of them, right? Three things, I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, buyers are looking for the best home in their price range. Typically, buyers are going to search in $50,000 to $100,000 increments, and they can see a whole lot out there on the internet. They're not even going to come and look at it if it doesn't meet their criteria. So in general, if you price it right out of the gate before you go on the market, you're going to get the most buyer activity. You get a majority of the current population of buyers' eyes on the property within the first 10 to 30 days that you go on the market. But if you go on really, really high in the sky, dreaming to get this huge number that doesn't reflect what the market's doing, and then slowly walk it down, guess what? It drops down to the bottom of the list, just like Craigslist. And it won't get found as much, especially if you make a change later. That's why the best time to lower your price is actually before you go on the market. We're moving into a buyer's market right now, and you just don't want to overprice your home. It's the biggest mistake that home sellers make. You want to be sure that you price your home what I call realistically versus optimistically. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team. And I'm also grateful to be the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And what we're talking about is what is the best day of the week to reduce the price of a home. And next up, I will give you that exact answer in the next segment. But the next up, we're going to talk about that best day and what to do to get the most money when you sell your home. And if you are thinking of making a move, we offer a free in-home consultation on what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale. We can give you a good range of value, pretty much in any price range, tips on what to do. We even show up with multiple, like at least a half dozen cash offers now. Some of these offers are not lowball, they're really good. And so that's what we offer when we first meet. And there's no cost or obligation to the meet. So give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you are thinking of making a move, call Barb, 719-301-3900. Barb, we're talking about reducing the price on a home. So what is the best day of the week to lower the price, and how long should a seller wait before a price adjustment is made?
Those are all great questions. For me, the best answer is price it right to begin with. That's the way you get the most money. I have home sellers that price it just slightly low, and they end up with multiple offers, and it sells for over asking price anyway, or at least at asking price. That is the best way to make it happen. Get the showing pane done quickly, and then you've got a deal. But if you absolutely have to test the market, it's okay to do that. You don't want to be too far off, because the market's going to tell you right away if you missed it. It'll tell you by the number of calls that we get into the office, the number of views that you get online, the number of saves that you get online, the number of the showing activities going to be a clue whether or not it's going to sell right away. So the worst thing you can do is slowly walk the price down, but it is okay to make an adjustment. And when to do that would be on, believe it or not, drum roll, here it comes, Thursday, not Friday, and certainly not Saturday, because people have already decided what they're going to look at on Saturday. Thursday is the day that people have time to go check it out, think about it, plan to come see the home. So that is the day to do that. And I would definitely, though, always price it what I call realistically versus optimistically before you even go on the market. And that's what we help our sellers do. So give us a call. We'll give you a really good idea what your home will sell for in this market right now, how much you'll put in your pocket when it sells, what to do to get ready, what not to do to get your house ready for sale. Plus, we show up with cash offers and the easy button if you don't want to deal with having a bunch of people come through your house in the traditional sales process. Call us at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about, do you need to pay a buyer agent when you're buying a home in Colorado? Some of that's new information. Barb's got that. Plus, we'll have Barb's hot new listings. You want to stay tuned for those. Man, I said at the beginning that the landscape keeps changing. That is no exaggeration.
Oh my God. It's a new movie every day.
I know my buyer wants to buy this house, but I'm not gonna let him.
Well, and I've seen, thankfully I've listened to you, but I've seen a couple of articles like in the Gazette or whatever. And yeah, I tried reading them. They're just gibberish. I mean, you can reduce it down to something that I can understand. Whoever's writing these articles, it truly just gibberish.
They're not in the game. They're just, regurgitating something they found and they thought would be cool to talk about. But I'm in the game. I'm playing the game. I'm talking to people. I know what they're saying.
You got it.
All right, I'm ready for round 4 whenever you are.
All right. New clock here. All right. I'll count us down in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. This is the weekly radio show that informs and it educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with the host of the program, Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, most home buyers are searching on those big national websites like Zillow, Realtor.com, and Homes.com. But is that really the best way for home buyers to find the best homes here in Colorado? And do they need to hire a buyer's agent to purchase a house in Colorado?
Well, Richard, I think people would be surprised to hear that about a third of the homes, 28% of the homes in this market are never hit the market. They're not sold through Zillow or Homes or the MLS or anything like that. They're actually sold privately, off market. And I've got 3 of them under contract right now that never went on the market. So, some of the best deals never appear on the market because we already have buyers. Let me give you a classic example. We had one that was on the market. The first buyer walked away, but we had 9 other offers to pivot to. So we never went back on the market. We just went back to the buyers that had made a good offer, had another bidding more, and it sold for even more than it did the first time. Okay. So you want an agent that can do that for you, and you want to be a buyer working with an agent that can do that for you, because every buyer wants insider access to homes that they cannot find on the internet that represent sometimes some of the best buys. Buying a home is a very emotional thing for most people. It's where they spend a lot of their life and they don't do it very often. It's one of the biggest investments. So what we're going to talk about are some of the common mistakes that home buyers make, and sometimes how picking the wrong home can really hurt you. And also the new cost associated with buying a house right now. First of all, the buyers absolutely need to know what price range they're searching in. A lot of people don't, right? They see a house, they fall in love, and they don't really know how it works. They think it's kind of like when you go to buy a car. You see a car, you're like, oh my God, I love the car. Okay, can I make payments? Can you get me some financing? That was the norm before, but now that they've changed the rules are you have to sign with an agent and commit to pay them a fee if they find the house or if they are the ones that get you into a house that you want to buy, right? And that fee could come out of pocket or it could be paid by the seller. And I will tell you that buyers absolutely love looking at homes. It's probably one of their favorite modes of entertainment. I've had people buy homes that they weren't really planning on buying. There was no plan in their mind. They just saw it on Facebook and went, oh my God, I have to have it. Sometimes those kind of things happen. But the people that do the best in this industry are the ones that are actually helping buyers get to the finish line, because they don't do this every day. Even if you've sold a number of homes, it's different, a little bit different every single time. If you bought a number of homes, it's different in every state. It's sometimes different in county. And buyers want to know with confidence that if they go under contract for a house, that they're basically going to be able to succeed, because they have to move as well. They have to make sure they do their own due diligence, and they also have to invest in inspections and appraisals and make plans. So number one is making sure you have the best financing lined up, and we can help you do that. And having your financing ready to go is kind of like carrying a big stick and negotiating, right? It doesn't mean you have to have a huge down payment. It just means that you have to already have done your homework. There are two different kinds of qualifications out there, actually three. There's the pre-qualification, which a lender talks to a buyer on the phone and the buyer says, okay, I make this much, this is my job, and this is what I want to spend. And the lender may pull their credit. And pretty much they might ask them about what are your outstanding bills beside your house. And then what they'll do is issue a pre-qualification, which doesn't mean anything. It means that the lender has not verified their income. They haven't looked at their tax returns. They haven't looked at all their debt scenarios. It's really kind of a cursory look, like maybe you could buy a house if you give me all this stuff, right? Then there's a pre-approval, which means that they have looked at their verified documents. It means that they have been submitted to some kind of underwriting process where they said, if all this is true, yes, you're going to get a loan. Okay, that's the next better step. And then the third one would be if they're cash, or maybe they're pulling money out of the equity of their home, like a home equity line of credit to buy another home, and it's pre-approved, that's fine too. It's almost like shopping with cash. But if you're presenting an offer, you want to put your best foot forward, because you never know. Even homes that have been sitting on the market for 6 months, sometimes all the time, occasionally will have multiple offers after being on the market that long. So, agents should know now that they're supposed to set, negotiate, and collect their fee, right? That just changed. Before it was automatic. They were entitled to whatever was offered in the MLS. The state made it easy for them by putting it in the form. So all they have to do is fill out how much they want to get paid. And now even like it used to be, the seller can't pay a buyer agency fee if they're getting a VA loan. That's not true anymore. They changed that rule. So really, it's just going to be an agent training thing. But then the question is, what if the seller won't pay that fee? What's going to happen? Do I, as the buyer, have to come out of pocket? And there are some buyers that are saying, I'm not going to do it, right? And they're asking, okay, well, if I do it, what do I get for it? If you're just going to show up, open the door, and write a 10-minute contract, I wouldn't say that's worth $15,000 or $20,000, So it's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. We don't work like most agents work. First of all, we give our buyers insider access. Right now, I have about 300 homes that I've met with just in the last couple of months that are looking for selling their home off market, right? And we send them cash offers, and they have choices. And some of them are selling and some of them are not. So what if our buyers could have insider access to those homes? I just sold 2 of my properties like that, insider access to off market. And that is something that the buyers really, really love to get because they know they're not going to have competition. They might get the best buys, but they'll also be able to get in a home where they want to be and not have to worry about it. We can even educate them about the home buying process. That's a really important part of it. And we do that both on video and in person. And then also we make sure that, that they're educated about the house and what they have to watch out for, especially if they're first-time home buyers. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team and the host of the show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about how home buyers actually find the best homes, whether or not they have to pay out of pocket if they get representation. And do they have to pay? And they don't. They can go directly to the listing agent. And I've had many people do that more recently than before. Next up, we're going to cover some ways a buyer can guarantee front of the line access to the best homes. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Barb, what are some other things that home buyers should consider to find the best homes for sale here in Colorado?
Well, I would say you have to start with making sure your budget is clarified. If you don't have a budget, you may not really know what you're looking for. Like last weekend, I spoke to a buyer that was moving from California, and the prices in California are way higher than they are here. And so she didn't really know what she was looking at. She was attracted to one house, but it was obvious to me she'd never owned a property like that has acreage and well, and she asked about HOA. And if they're not familiar with the area, that's part of the agent's job, is to really educate them on what it's like here. What are the pros and cons of owning this kind of house or that kind of house? And then financing, of course, is one thing that's important, but also equally important are home features, locations, neighborhoods, school districts. All these things are different criteria for different buyers. And what we had before they changed the rules is the agents never asked any of those questions. What they did was they met them at the door if they expressed interest in it, and they hoped it work. Say that again. They met him at the door if the buyer expressed interest in seeing that home, hoped it work out. And if the buyer wasn't interested in that home, they lost contact with him. And we tested it for a while. We call it Pop-Tart agent. Pop out of the toaster, go show the house, and hope everything works out. And we never closed any of them. And the reason is we never found out what the buyer was looking for and delivered what they were looking for. That is the disconnect here. And I hope that some of these agents kind of learn that going forward, because before most of them are just Pop-Tart agents and they'd show up at the door. So there was one real estate company here in town that actually created a whole business about being Pop-Tart agents, and they would pay agents some money to go open a door. But that wasn't the agent that made an offer. It was some other quote specialist that had never seen the home. When you're in a home with a buyer, they want to know your opinion. They want to know what you think of it. What do you know about the neighborhood? They assume you know everything about that house that you're showing. And honestly, most agents actually don't. So that's the normal real estate process now. And I think that buyers going forward are going to demand and expect a lot more out of their professional real estate agent, especially if they have to pay a fee. But as it stands right now, there are a whole bunch of buyers are going VFR direct to the listing agent, because they know the listing agent knows the home, because they don't care about the whole commission thing. They just want to buy the house, right? We even give our buyers insider access to distress sales, bank foreclosures that are not on the market, homes that recently reduced in price, and homes that are off market. Most people don't offer anything like that. And all you have to do, hold on just a second, you guys.
Yep.
Darn it. That's our CRM that does a ringy dingy. Okay. All right, ready to go?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. All you have to do is give us a call. We'll sit down and have an interview about what you're looking for and go try and find you that best home. Call us at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. And if you're selling, we show up with at least a half dozen offers on your home already, and some of these offers are really good. So give us a try. We'd love to help you. Richard?
Barb, next up, your favorite portion of the program, your hot new listings. What do you have this week?
Well, I have a gorgeous 2-story with an unfinished basement that's been completely remodeled at 369.9. A beautiful home out on Powers Road on 35 acres with an awesome shop at 379.9. A spectacular ranch on 5 acres out in Peyton at 349.9. This home is amazing on Shelton Road. It backs to open space, remodeled with spectacular views. And then I have a beautiful home on 5 treed acres on Chalet Lane, priced at $850 with an awesome RV garage. And there's an amazing home on McPherson Road, sits up on top of the hill with amazing views, priced in the mid 1 million range, and a gorgeous lot up in Florissant, Colorado Mountain Estates, priced at $85,000 with a well and views. So if you are thinking of making a move, you can see all of our upcoming listings at barbhasthebuyers.com or call us at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You've been listening to Your Real Estate Voice. It airs every Saturday, 11 o'clock, right after Larry Kudlow. If you didn't hear the entire show, always available as a podcast. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Barb, you have a great week. I'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Okay.